Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Hayden with the Hill Pursuit Podcast. We have a good one today. This is episode 71. Um, this episode, we discuss the services that one of our nutrition coaches provides. This is an intro episode to who Coach Ashley is. We recently had an episode with Coach Kenny. Now, Coach Kenny's been with us for a little while, but we never formally had like an introductory episode. So we did get that out recently. And today's is an introductory episode with Coach Ashley. Coach Ashley is with Case Specific Nutrition. She works with a couple Hill Pursuit athletes, and her services are plentiful, to say the least. She has a lot of experience and a lot of areas of expertise with diseased populations, strength and power athletes, endurance athletes. She just offers a ton of experience and a ton of resources to her clients. What Ashley does is really unique, and I really look forward to you getting to know her within this episode. Ashley's also going to be contributing to our nutrition shorts, like Coach Kenny has recently been doing. But I did want to get this episode out before we start pushing out Coach Ashley's nutrition shorts. But along with those shorts, Coach Ashley also has some other documentation and some other resources that we'll be pushing out to our active athletes within both Hill Pursuit and then the active athletes that I have within Victory Multisport. So if you are one of those people, be ready, because we have a lot of great nutritional resources coming your way. If you'd like any insight into any of that, find us on any of the socials at Hill Pursuit. Send me an email, hillpursuit@gmail. Check out the website, hillpursuit.com. Along those lines, I guess, if you want to listen to this and any other podcast, we stream it on Spotify, Podbean, Google, Apple, anywhere you get podcasts. We also do have the YouTube channel where you'll start to see some of those nutrition shorts. So make sure you check that out, Hill Pursuit, like and subscribe to that stuff. So you can watch these podcasts. You can watch some of our other videos, some race stuff, some cool training stuff. But this is episode 71 of the Hill Pursuit Podcast, in which we essentially interview and get to know Coach Ashley a little bit more. Really, really hope you like this one. We leave all of her contact info will be in the show notes. So, scroll down and check all that out, and do not hesitate to reach out to me or reach out to her with any questions at all. Okay. Enjoy this episode 71 of the Hill Pursuit Podcast. Getting to know Coach Ashley. What's up, Ashley? How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing
Thank
good.
you for allowing me to be here today.
Oh, absolutely. Glad this worked out. We've been trying this for a couple weeks now, so I'm glad it's finally happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't know, if you've been listening, did a formal intro with Coach Kenny, one of our nutrition coaches, and today formal intro with Coach Ashley, another one of our nutrition experts, a registered dietitian. I'll let her kind of tell you all about everything she does. But we've been talking about this podcast for a little while now. Super glad that it worked out, that we can finally sit down and do this. Ashley has a ton of awesome services to provide Hill Pursuit athletes. So let's just kind of dive in. So Ashley, again, of course, thanks for doing this. Thanks for being here. For everyone who's heard your name a few different times and seen your face on the website or anywhere else, just tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Who are you? Where are you from? A little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Hayden said, my name's Ashley, and I am a registered and licensed dietitian who practices out of Pittsburgh. And I run Case Specific Nutrition out in the South Hills, like Peters area specifically. But to kind of give you a little bit about me. So I grew up in Pittsburgh, specifically like the North Hills area, and lived there most of my life, honestly. I recently got married in November and opened up, like I said, Case Specific Nutrition South in Peters. So my husband and I, we recently moved out to South Hills area in about December. Never thought I'd live on the other side of the tunnel. If you're from the North Hills, you know you don't come to the other side usually. But yeah, so that's kind of where I grew up. Some of my interests are obviously sports and nutrition. Been an athlete all my life, but I also love to kind of dive into all areas of just personal growth, physically, mentally, emotionally. That's a huge interest of mine. Also love hiking. Me and my husband are always out hiking, playing with dogs as well. And if there's one thing to know about me is I have a very hard time sitting still. Constantly got to be moving, constantly got to be active. So always find me outdoors if I'm not counseling athletes or following my athletes at all the races, helping them with sports nutrition along the way. So in terms of like sports and athletics, I've been an athlete, like I said, all of my life. Since the time I can remember, I was always running around. I started with soccer when I was 4 years old, as do most young kids. They're like, parents put them in soccer. They're like, all right, kid, have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Some love it.
That's super funny you say that, because I just started that with my oldest, and it's
Mhm.
like super hit or miss right now with whether or not she has a complete meltdown or whether she loves every second of it. So it's tough, but you're right. That's a very common start for young kids.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like some girls are doing cartwheels on the field, others are running
Yeah.
around chasing the boys. There's no in between whatsoever.
Yeah, it's wild.
But I was definitely the one chasing all the guys, playing, and I was diving in for it. So I played that most of my life, honestly.
Cool.
Then sophomore year of high school, I actually got a really severe concussion and was out of school for about 5 months.
Oh,
And was
geez.
told I can never play soccer again.
I
So
didn't
I
know
was
that.
like, now what? But going back to that, my all the time, all growing up, my family was like, you're a little energizer bunny. You just go and go and go and never stop. Like your energy never runs out. So I dove into that a little bit further. I was like, you know what? Let's take up running because I just can go and go and go. Might as well try it. So at that point, I decided to kind of join cross country, and that's where my love for running started. An endurance sport. I was like, wow, okay, I'm actually half decent at this. Then went on and ran at IUP collegiately. And then from there, stopped once I was out of school, finished my residency, stuff like that. I got into coaching triathlons. And then from there, my love for that started. And I actually coached a youth triathlon team to a national title. Fun fact.
Awesome.
So that was kind of like my sports background. I still currently run every single day, biking. Haven't done a triathlon since finishing college, mainly for the reason getting married. That's a lot of stress.
Mhm.
Didn't really have much time with that. But like I said, I went to IUP. So I graduated my undergrad there in dietetics, but also chemistry and medical microbiology. So I guess you can kind of say like I'm a huge freaking nerd. And I love the human body. And still to this day, you can always find me freaking researching absolutely anything and everything.
That's fun. Yeah.
And then like I said, completed my residency at IUP as well. And also my master's there as well. But my master's was really focused on sports nutrition, but also functional medicine and functional nutrition. So how do we use food to cure diseases and stuff like that? And that's where like the chemistry and microbiology comes in. And then a little bit about hobbies. Honestly, like I said, I can't really sit still, so hobbies are not my thing. But I will be the first to be outside, go hiking, or do absolutely anything outdoors. Skiing, hiking, like I said, you name it, I'll do it.
I love
But yeah,
when
that's about me.
I love when we talk about hobbies, and it's like people, a lot of people say they have hobbies, but then if you do it so much, it's not a hobby. It's just like your life.
Right.
It's not a hobby that you like to hike. That's just part of your life,
Right.
So but yeah,
Exactly.
awesome. That all sounds incredible. I have a question. So
Yeah.
when you were an athlete, did you start playing with nutrition then, or like when did, obviously you shared what you went to school for, like when did you start like applying some or playing around with food or supplementation to yourself
Yeah.
as an athlete? Did that start in college, or were you messing around with that in high school, post concussion, or when did that start? I guess personally.
Yeah, so honestly, it didn't start till about senior year of high school. I didn't really know what the role of nutrition played. I grew up in a household where
Mhm.
it was just like meat and potatoes, like there was no like reason behind it. That's just what I ate, and
Sure.
what we had around is what I ate when I was hungry. As that's how it should be. But senior year of high school, I was actually in the middle of cross country race, pretty much leading the race at this point, and I ended up getting an avulsion fracture of my hip. So if any of you really know what that is, my one of my muscles in my quads pulled apart my iliac crest. So one of your hip bones, for say, for common terms, actually got a crack in right through the middle, slashed in the middle. So I was on crutches for about, I think it was like 3 months, on bed rest for a little bit of time from that. And at that point, I was like, I'm 16 years old. Why the heck did I just get a fracture in my hip?
Yeah.
And then the doctors were like, so what's your nutrition like? I was like, what's that even mean? I was like, I eat granola bars. I eat this, I eat that. But I didn't really realize or dive into like, oh, was my nutrition kind of failing me? Is this why I got a fracture at such a young age, where arguably you should not be having a fracture in your hip at that age? So then from there, my doctors ordered a DEXA scan. So if anyone knows what that is, they kind of analyze your bone density to see how strong your bones necessarily are. And at that point, they diagnosed me with osteopenia, which is the start of osteoporosis. Mind you, again, I was 16, 17 at this point. I was super young. No reason why I should be even having this. So then, being the nerdy self that I always have been, I decided to research a little bit as to why this could potentially happen.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to my diet. So from that point forward, then I really dove into my diet and how to heal my body so I didn't have to get hip surgery at such a young age. And let me kind of preface, at this point, I already signed to run an IUP on scholarship. So I was like, shoot, I got to do something. I need to go fast to get back on my feet. And that's kind of what really sparked it. So it was like this really negative event that honestly was the biggest decision of my life, because it led to my schooling and where I am now.
That's crazy. What did that feel like when you were in the race and experienced that fracture?
So honestly, I thought I popped my hip out of my socket. Like that's what it felt like. Like I was running and the second place person was gaining on me, and I was like, shoot, I gotta pick it up. So at this point I surged forward, and that surge forward, I felt like I said, I popped my hip out of my socket, and my, I don't want to say dumb self, but I was like, let's try to finish this race. So I'm hobbling along. And then I was
Oh,
like, my hips out as soon as I crossed the finish line. And then I just passed out, rushed to the hospital. And then they're like, yeah, no, your hip wasn't out of the socket. You fractured your hip. I was like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's the best way I could kind of explain it, is your hip just pops and then you can't walk.
That's, oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It was
Wow.
definitely a very scary, scary experience, let me tell you.
Yeah, that cannot be fun. But you crossed the finish line, which is wild as well.
Yeah, there was a mile left and I was like, gotta go, gotta finish. But that's where
Jeez.
adrenaline kicks in.
Yeah,
So for all you nerds, like adrenaline can do crazy things.
yeah,
And that's why it's like I felt the pain and I felt the discomfort, but it wasn't until after like I crossed that finish line, when I laid down, until it all hit me and all those pain, like it hit, and I was like, all right, we're
yeah,
out.
yeah. So what do you like? Do you have any specific goals now that you're like? I'm assuming at this point you're functioning normally, and
Mhm.
do you have any of your own like personal performance goals as an athlete anymore?
Yeah, so right now, my main thing is I honestly want to PR in every like race distance, from the 5K up to the marathon. So running is my niche. And then eventually, once me and my husband kind of slow down, get back into like Ironmans and stuff like that. And then
Nice.
hopefully qualify for Kona. We'll see. Definitely have the drive, definitely have the discipline to do it. it's just going to be a matter of time. But right now, my life is just way too busy with opening the practice that it's like,
Yeah.
I want to put my best foot forward when I train. And that's how
Yeah.
I've always believed is like dive in 100%. There's no in between. It's like all or nothing.
Yeah.
So I want to get to that point of that all or nothing so I can really focus on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I want to talk more about your practice, obviously, but you just said something super interesting. I want to hear some examples. So you say PR every race distance, 5K to marathon, maybe up to, some full distance try stuff. What do those times look like? Give us some examples of 5K to marathon and some triathlon stuff maybe you've done before. Now I'm
Yeah.
just
So
curious.
yeah, absolutely. So my 5K, I want to break 19 minutes in that. So not super fast for me personally for a collegiate athlete. And then for the 10K, want to break 40 for that.
Okay.
And then half marathon, my PR is an hour and 28 minutes. So I want to break an hour and 25. So we'll see if that ever happens. Driving high. And then
Yeah,
for the marathon, I want to get under 3. So we'll kind
nice.
of see what that looks like. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Those are sweet goals. What do you have experience with any like Ironman events?
I do not know.
No.
So
Yeah,
I
what try stuff have you done?
so just the short distance.
The
The
stuff that
sprint. So,
Muddy Marine stuff?
yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. We have a ton of athletes, some hill pursuit, some victory multisport. We have a ton of athletes out that do those Mighty Moraine Mighty Moraine man, either sprint or Olympic distance, fall spring. So that race is awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love it. It tests your speed, but also your strength too, going
Yeah.
up those rolling hills. Like you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
both, and that's
There's
what
decent amount of hills on the ride. You ride for a few hours out there and
right.
you're getting thousands of feet of elevation. It's pretty wild. But
Absolutely.
anyways, let's dive into this practice. So you've had case specific for, a few months now at least, right? You said November-ish. Is that right?
Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
so what does that look like? Like, how did that come about? And, what kind of stuff do you do there?
Yeah, so how it came about is I actually saw the CEO of the practice back in high school. When I was kind of going through my fracture and stuff like that. I needed some more education. I needed to have better guidance as to what's going on, how can I fix this?
Yeah.
So I started seeing him and I kind of told him my passion, my interest, and he's like, stay in touch. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it. And then when I was in my undergrad and then my residency, I was like, hey, like just reaching back out, see how you're doing. Like, can we sit down and chat? Because I'm very like business minded, entrepreneur minded. And I was like, this is something I can definitely see for myself. And then from there, he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we started kind of getting the works into everything, got some funding for that. And then here we are now. So to kind of go off of like what I typically do right now.
Yeah.
So short answer is I do it all, which is the nice thing about a registered dietitian is you literally can. So what in terms of athletes, whatever the athlete wants or presents to me with, I can do, which is a beautiful thing. But first things first, before even discussing like the best route that I take with them, I do a really deep dive into what their current physical health is, but also their past health history, any races, any experiences they had during races. So typically say, okay, they bonk at mile X, Y, or Z, or they have difficulty on the bike, their strength isn't there. We dive really deep into that as well. But like I said, also the health aspect of things. We discuss anything literally health related, things down to complex GI issues, so gastrointestinal type of things. We talk about hormonal concerns that may be happening, any metabolic disturbances, and then we from there kind of build up to like what's their training like, what's their training block that they're currently in, are they in the off season? So then we look into that, and then also what their current nutrition is, along with like their lifestyle and stuff like that. Because that's very important when it comes to nutrition, is like really working with the athlete. So say they work a 9 to 5 job and they're training at 4:30 in the morning. We navigate that so we can really fuel them for their performance, but also the recovery too, while navigating the busyness of our go-to-go world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we can also, if I think that we need to get some blood work done, I can run blood work, which is a really nice thing as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because then you can really kind of see what's going on inside their body. And see, one real thing that I really look into is like, is their body a carb burner or a fat burner? Because that really will help me tailor like what route we're going to go nutritionally. Because if their body loves to burn carbohydrates, why would I fuel them with a lot of fat? Because we're not working with the body. So that's really, it's kind of like diving into their body, their individual needs, their history, their current health and stuff like that. And then from there, we kind of sit down and we build a plan together. So it's not me just behind the scenes building a plan for them. We do it together. We converse, we brainstorm, we discuss potential nutrition barriers that may present. And then from there, really just like dive in 100% in terms of all of their nutritional needs that they may need.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like super, super thorough from top to
Mhm.
bottom, which is, a lot of people need that type of attention. So that is
Absolutely.
like really, really cool that you do that, and that's super valuable. Um, so it sounds like you have a little bit of like recreational exerciser, maybe some metabolic disease populations,
Mhm.
maybe even people that don't exercise. Can I assume
Yeah.
that just have
Oh my
some,
God, absolutely.
yeah, nutritional issues? Um, but in terms of an athlete, what's like the typical athlete that comes to you? Um, is it the first time athlete? Is it an experienced athlete? Is it the 5K runner who doesn't know what they should drink immediately post a 20-minute session or a 30-minute session? Or is
Mhm.
it like, do you have 12, 15, 16 hour racers and ultra marathoners or Ironman? What's the typical athlete that comes to you, and what are their performance goals, I guess?
Yeah, so honestly, I see them all. So from
Okay.
your person who has to lose 100 pounds and wants to get into running and wants to run their couch to 5K, I see it from that. But then I also see elite Ironman athletes who are trying to optimize their nutrition to, like I said, qualify for Kona. So it's like the whole entire spectrum. And then like I get the basic all right, like weight loss type of things.
Yeah.
For like the general population, I see a lot of like disease states and kind of curing those through food, which is more like your sciencey type of things. But in terms of athletes, so a lot of them come with a good variety of different needs. And that's where it's like I really dive into the athlete as a whole and really look into their individual things and what they want. But honestly, I've seen everything and anything for in terms of like what athletes needs. It could go from your basic weight loss to body composition to optimize their performance, different fueling tactics to looking at are they even eating enough to support the training, and then being very strategic into how can we build a plan that optimizes not only their training but also the recovery,
Yeah.
while taking into account, like I said, their lifestyle and stuff like that. I also go and have athletes who just come to me for what's a race day fueling plan look like? How do I carb load? And then just building that plan. And then, like I said earlier, a little bit of the deeper dive is doing that blood work and looking into if their body's a fat burner per se or a carb burner, to develop a plan that's very custom to them and their body and how their metabolism functions. Because if you don't know, everyone is super different and
Yeah.
super individual. Everyone's body is very, very complex in their own way. And then also just GI issues. I hear all the time with all of my athletes. My tummy's sloshing, my tummy hurts, I'm gassy. I feel like I always have to go to the bathroom on a run.
Yeah.
So really just diving into that and really seeing what's going on there. How can we kind of change that and get you feeling good? Because no one wants to run while their stomach is in crazy GI distress. Um,
Absolutely.
so I see it all. I work with it all. And I always say nothing is a surprise to me at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah. I'm assuming I know the answer to this already, but I'm still going to ask. You're able to work with like people with special dietary restrictions and people who come to you and say, "Hey, I want to be on keto," or I'm plant-based. Like, you do any and everything in between there as well.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work with any disease state, any specific dietary protocol that they think works best for them, or they want to navigate and try and see if it
Right.
works best for them,
Yeah.
because you
Cool.
may not know unless you try. And that's where we can kind of dive into their past medical history, their current medical history, and kind of brainstorm like, these are potential routes we can go. This will be my best recommendation based off of your history. And then kind of go from there. But yeah, I do it all. I see it all. So
Nice. Do you want to talk about the insurance thing real quick?
yeah, so I'm in with every major insurance. So from Highmark, UPMC, Aetna, Cigna, you name it. I do cover all insurances. So what that kind of looks like is you'd come to me, I'd get you in contact with my admin team. They'll run your insurance for me, because they know it better than me. I'm just your dietitian who loves food. But they will kind of run it and let you know exactly what your insurance coverage is. And honestly, most insurances right now are covering the majority of dietitian services. So most of your sessions are 100% free of charge to you, or you just have to hit a deductible and only pay, say, a certain percentage, or you have 6 visits that are free of charge. But right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of insurances are really, really pushing nutrition services as like a preventative type of healthcare. But yeah, I take all insurances, so
Yeah, that's awesome.
it doesn't hurt to kind of reach out and see what your coverage is, because you may get free sessions with me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a sweet deal. So if you're listening, definitely, rewind that if you need to. Takes major insurance. So
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, that's definitely a big plus for a lot of people. And real quick, if someone off the street, athlete, non-athlete, whoever, approaches you and just says, hey, I need help with food, period. What's the most basic watered down version of kind of like how you can address that issue, or just tell somebody about the services that you can provide? I know you dove into a lot of specifics, but the most basic explanation, hey, I need help with food, what can you do for me? Like, how would you explain that to in this most simplistic terms?
Yeah. So, in the most simplest terms, we build a nutrition-based plan, a meal plan based off of your current needs. Like at the end of the day, it can get as simple as that of like, all right, you come to me and you say, okay, like I'm lacking in energy or I'm tired all the
Mm,
time.
yeah.
I just want to learn how to build a balanced plate to make sure my body's in the healthiest state. Okay, cool. Let's make sure we have a protein, a carb, and a fat at every meal. And then just kind of going from there in terms of the foods they like, the foods they enjoy. So it's nothing like I'm gonna make you eat all your fruits and veggies and only fruits and veggies. It's okay, how do we optimize what you're already doing to make you the healthiest version of yourself?
Yeah. Sweet. um I have a couple more questions.
Yeah,
So we
absolutely.
talked a little bit about this before the actual cast, but what do you envision the type of content that we're going to be pushing out together, and the types of resources that you plan to provide through Hill Pursuit? The I guess a little bit of the we started the nutrition shorts with Coach Kenny. I know we're gonna be hopping onto that train, so you can speak to that. But I know you have some other ideas as well. So how do you envision putting some resources out here in the future?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. So definitely that one-on-one consultation we can definitely do so we can really
Yeah.
dive into your own nutritional needs. But in terms of like content and stuff like that, I'm gonna work alongside Kenny and also be doing these nutrition shorts for you guys. But I'm also gonna be able to provide you with like PDF documents via your week or monthly emails. So what
Mhm.
those are going to look like is just like a deep elaboration of some of the videos that you guys will be witnessing. So these shorts are about like 90 seconds to 2 minutes. So just give you like
Yeah.
a snapshot of what we're really talking about. And then looking forward to your monthly emails where you're going to get a deep dive. I'm going to break down this nutritional content. Obviously for layman terms that you'll be able to understand it and apply it a little better and have that step back of like, oh, okay, like this is what she means in terms of this topic. But I'm also going to be providing Instagram content as well. So you can definitely look forward to that on a weekly basis of just like little images or infographics of, okay, here's hydration needs. This is how you build a balanced post-workout plate. Little things like that, that they can really just take a screenshot, keep on their phone for their post-workout. They're exhausted, they're hungry. They're like, what do I even do? You go to your photos, you pull it up. All right, cool.
Yeah.
We need to have a protein, a carb, a fat. This is like the ratio type of thing. And then just go with that. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely be providing content on that regard as well.
Yeah, sweet. That's a lot of really good stuff. So, yeah, if you're listening, what Ashley just references that monthly, like the active athlete email. So if you're a Hill Pursuit athlete or one of my Victory Multisport athletes, you'll be getting access to all that content on a monthly basis in significantly more depth than the weekly content that we will still be putting out. So keep your eyes open for that. That's going to be really, really beneficial, super valuable stuff. And I guess lastly, how long do people typically work with you? Do they work with just a sports season? Do they work only with, hey, this is what I have typically used to fuel workouts, but I just want you to tell me what to take on race day, or do they work year round? What do you have a little bit of everything?
Honestly, yeah, I have
Okay.
a little bit of everything. Also, it's very different from insurance to insurance. So if you get 100% coverage all year round, most people take advantage of that, honestly. But it's up to the clients. They can work with me as long as they want. I have some who work with me only during their off-season months to really optimize like body composition, because at the
Okay.
end of the day, you should never change your body composition while training or during a training block. Um, and then some year round during all of their training cycles. And then I have others who work with me for years, navigating different stages of their life, such as a female wanting to get pregnant, going through pregnancy while training. And then that post-pregnancy, like, let me get back to training. I want to achieve these goals. And then really navigating that. So that's the female side of things. And then also those who are going through that different stage of life. So going from a just traditional athlete to now they're a master's athlete and dealing with those hormonal
Yeah.
shifts, metabolic shifts. So I work with them more long-term. So honestly, I see it all, and I work with people from all duration of time. So it's all the athlete specific needs, what they want, and how long they want to work together.
When you say, this is just a funny little aside. When you say masters athlete, it made me think of like aging up into like the next age bracket for like
Mhm.
a marathon or a triathlon. Just the other day, so I'm only 33 years old. Just the other day, I had a student tell me that middle aged was like 30 to 60 was middle aged. So I was like, come on, you got to be kidding me. One, absolutely not. That is not the
Huh?
case. I'm not middle. I didn't even age up yet.
Right.
So yeah, like come on, cut me a break. But anyways, this was awesome. Ashley, really, really appreciate you coming on. It had been a little while, so I'm glad we finally found the time to sit down. Last thing, where can people find you? I'm gonna
Yeah.
post it. So, any social media stuff, any emails, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me at the website, Hill Pursuit website, but you can also shoot me an email at ashley@casespecificnutrition.com. So if you have any specific needs, want to kind of speak one-to-one, or also give me any feedback as well, like things you want to see on the Instagram, things you want to see on the shorts. Like, don't hesitate to reach out and express your interests as well. Because I want this to be kind of like a reciprocal thing and provide you guys those content and that information that you want to see at the end of the day. And then also you can reach out to me via text as well. And my number is 412-894-6701. And Hayden will also have that posted, and it's also on the website as well. So yeah, don't hesitate to email me, shoot me a text, hop on a call with me. We can definitely chit chat a little bit about what I do more specifically and how I can better help you as an athlete on a more one-to-one basis before you kind of get signed up and stuff. But I also do have an Instagram page as well. Not crazy active on it, in all honesty, but I do use like the story feature a lot. And that is at Beaming Nutrition or Beaming Dietitian as well. But But yeah, so mainly contact me, email, phone, stuff like that.
Yeah, so we got it all now, and I'll make sure that it's all accessible, and I'll post all of that in the show notes. So awesome, this was great. I got a ton of great info. I'm going to show note all of this, and I know I'm speaking for a lot of our athletes and listeners. So when I say thank you for joining us, hopping on, and again, finally, the two of us, I guess, finding time to sit down and make this cast happen. So thanks, Coach Ashley. We're really looking forward to the future.
Yeah, thank you for your time and allowing me to speak
Yeah,
speak to all your athletes and stuff like that. I really
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Good stuff. We'll talk soon. See you.
All right, see ya.
Bye. Guys, Coach Ashley is great. This was an incredible episode. Really just to meet the coach episode, right? So she is going to be putting out a lot of nutrition shorts, like we've started this most recent week, both on the YouTube channel, on the social media outlets, and she will be contributing to that as well. She's actually already doing that. I just wanted to get this podcast episode out first before I started uploading any of her specific nutrition shorts. So look for that stuff on a weekly basis, guys. She works with case specific nutrition. She works with any and every type of human, athlete, endurance, strength, metabolic disease. She's got a lot of areas of expertise, and I guess just a lot of experience working with various populations. So please don't hesitate to reach out to her. Her contact info is on our website, philpursuit.com. I will link all of her contact info, but her email address, her Instagram, her phone number, she's even offered. So please just don't hesitate to reach out to her. One-on-one consults, race day prep, post-workout help, any and everything. It sounds like she's really willing to help with a little bit of everything, which is just fantastic because she has such a wide knowledge base. So please do use that resource of Coach Ashley. So anyways, if you are listening and you made it this far, thank you so much for following along. Please reach out to us at Hill Pursuit, any of the socials. Listen to this episode and all other podcasts on Spotify, Podbean, Google, Apple, wherever you get podcasts. If you're just listening, we do also have a YouTube channel. We're starting to upload some stuff to, some videos along with some nutrition shorts. So find the YouTube channel, subscribe to that as well. That's just Hill Pursuit. And then, of course, hillpursuit.com, the website where you can find absolutely everything, podcasts, blogs, coaching information. So hit that up as well. And then lastly, if you need to reach out to me or Ashley as well with her email. But if you need to reach out to me, our email is philpursuit@gmail.com. So please do that. Ask questions, give feedback, give us some content that you'd like to hear more about, any and everything in between. We really, really appreciate when that happens. So don't hesitate to do that. This was episode 71, meeting Coach Ashley. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.